US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has severely criticized some of America's NATO allies while announcing a 6-month review of the presence of US forces in Europe. It's a review that some countries will fail and others will pass with flying colours, he said at a meeting of NATO defence ministers in Brussels, singling out allies that he suggested had been free-riding.
An attack by armed men on an airport in Niger's capital has killed 11 soldiers and 2 civilians, according to the country's defence ministry. 5 months after a major assault, 22 armed attackers were also killed in the assault, and about 20 suspects were apprehended, the ministry added in a press statement read out on national television on Thursday.
Al Jazeera's Zaina Kodja brings you the latest from southern Lebanon as people begin returning home under a fragile US-Iran ceasefire.
Representatives from the United States and Iran are expected to meet in Switzerland on Friday to mark a deal ending the US-Israeli war on Iran and to start the next stage of negotiations. The 14-point Memorandum of Understanding, setting out a framework for talks during a 60-day negotiation period, was signed by the US and Iran on Wednesday.
At least 3 Palestinians have been killed and several others wounded after an Israeli drone struck a vehicle near Abu Qadra Mosque in the Rimal neighbourhood of western Gaza City. According to medical sources, Al Jazeera's Hind Qadri, reporting from Gaza City, said the attack on Thursday was the first explosion in the area after a few calm and quiet days.
Karamo Brown, famous for his pep talks on Netflix's Queer Eye, has jumped into the wellness and AI space with his new app, K. After spending a year and a half focusing on his own journey from fitness and nutrition to meditation, sobriety, relationships, and personal growth, Brown wants to help others do the same. Key offers a slew of features designed to support users, including personalized fitness plans that cater to users' existing workout equipment and schedules, as well as nutrition guidance by suggesting meal plans based on the food users have at home. Users have the flexibility to request adjustments to their fitness and meal plans through an AI chatbot, making it easy to customize their experience. Plus, each workout is paired with guided instructional videos to ensure correct form.
Ukraine on Thursday launched its largest drone attack on Moscow in years, sparking fires, hitting a major oil refinery and forcing evacuations at the country's largest airport. Russia vowed to retaliate for the attack as AFP reporters saw dramatic scenes of black smoke billowing over the capital's southern skyline and drops of black rain mixed with soot falling from the sky.
Islamabad. The Islamabad High Court, IHC, has referred to the Chief Justice a petition filed by Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Afridi and Finance Advisor Muzammil Aslam, seeking permission to meet incarcerated PTI founder Imran Khan for consultations on the upcoming provincial budget. It emerged on Thursday. Justice Kadim Hussain Sumro passed the order after being informed that several identical petitions relating to jail meetings with the PTI founder were already pending before a larger bench of the IHC.
For Iran, the deal with the US offers something just as important as a ceasefire, a way to claim that it has not just survived the war without surrendering, but has emerged from it stronger. From the start, Tehran's core objective was not necessarily to defeat the US and Israel in conventional republic intact. It was to come out of still functioning with the Islamic Republic and its negotiating position not completely broken.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed by President Donald Trump and President Masoud Pezeshkian of Iran lays out the political, military and economic consequences of the ill-judged decision to attack Iran on the 28th of February. The human cost is already clear. Thousands have been killed, many of them civilians, in Iran and Lebanon.
Ivory Coast forward Eli Wahi will not travel to Canada for this weekend's World Cup clash with Germany in Toronto because his authorisation to visit the country has not been obtained, the Ivorian Football Federation, FIF, said on Thursday. The announcement came the day after Wahi was linked to an investigation into suspected sports corruption, with French authorities saying unusual betting patterns were detected around a yellow card Wahi received in a League One match while playing for his club side Nice last month.
A memorandum of understanding, MOU, for ending the electronically signed near the French capital, Paris, after weeks of US President Donald Trump's repeated claims that an agreement was close. The 14-point framework signed on Wednesday sees Iran commit to refrain from procuring or developing nuclear weapons in exchange for sanctions relief, a $300 anti-reconstruction plan, and the restarting of maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz.
Voters in Colombia are preparing to head to the polls for the second time in less than a month to decide who will be the South American country's next president. But the two candidates competing in Sunday's runoff offer starkly differing visions for the country's future. Washington, D.C., Janice Lewis-George, a Democratic socialist who has promised an aggressive approach to United States President Donald Trump, is on track to become the next mayor of Washington, D.C. Lewis-George already had a commanding lead after Tuesday's Democratic primary. Her top competitor, Kenyon McDuffie, conceded on Thursday, all but assuring her victory. Noting the player, a grassroots movement is forming among everyday tech workers who are demanding their companies develop and deploy AI responsibly. And the Guardrails Alliance, a new super PAC dedicated to supporting AI legislation, aims to leverage that discontent.
General Intuition, the New York-based startup building a foundation model that trains AI agents how to move through space and time, is in talks to raise around with the matter told TechCrunch. The raise come 8 months after General Intuition spun out of Meddle, a platform for uploading and sharing video game clips. With a fresh fund $34 million seed round, the fresh funds would bring the startup's valuation up to just over $2 billion, sources say.
As Wordle celebrates its 5th anniversary, we have to be honest with ourselves. Are we still having fun, thousands of Wordles later? Sometimes we are, but other times the daily word game has felt like a means to keep a streak alive. Instead, my friends and I have gotten hooked on a new game, MapTap, which is available both as an app and on the web. Every day, MapTap has 5 questions, each one presenting you with a city, or occasionally the site of a historic event or battle to tap on the map. You get a score between 0 and 100 on each clue, depending on how close you are.
Apple announced on Thursday that developers in Brazil are now allowed to distribute their iOS apps through alternative app stores and process payments for digital goods and services outside the App Store. The changes, which are part of Apple's agreement with Brazil's competition regulator Conselho Administrativo de Defesa Econômica, or KD, loosen Apple's rules in yet another market, following similar revisions in the EU and Japan.
The Peshawar electric supply company, PESCO, has announced a series of power shutdowns in various areas due to maintenance work at multiple grid stations, causing temporary electricity suspension on different dates in June. According to the notification, power supply from the PESCO Colony grid station will remain suspended on June 25 and 29 from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., affecting consumers of Zaintara, Shahibag Express, Hassan Gahi, Shahibag, Rashidabad and Shami road feeders.
Lahore Electric Supply Company, LESCO, has stopped printing detailed taxes and charges on electricity bills after changing the bill design. Under the new format, consumers will no longer see a separate breakdown of taxes and charges on the printed bill. Instead, they will have to scan a QR code to view the details.
The National Institute of Health, NIH, has issued an advisory for the prevention and control of monsoon-related diseases across Pakistan. According to the advisory, the monsoon season increases the risk of communicable and vector-borne diseases due to heavy rainfall, flooding, waterlogging, damaged sanitation systems, contaminated drinking water, and increased vector breeding.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Thursday told Iran's President Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian that the recently signed Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding MOU between Washington and Tehran would go a long way towards rebuilding Iran. According to the Prime Minister's office, PMO, the Premier made the remarks during a phone call with the Iranian president that lasted over 30 minutes.
A jury has failed to reach a verdict in the trial of a Norwegian teenager accused of travelling to England to carry out a killing on behalf of an international crime gang backed by Iran. Johannes Kongsnes Natland, 19, allegedly agreed with the Swedish Foxes gang to shoot an unknown target for €25,000 as 21,500 in March last year.
President Donald Trump has formally signed a deal with Iran to end the conflict that began on the 28th February when the US and Israel launched airstrikes against Tehran and across the country. The terms of the 14-point memorandum of understanding between the US and Iran have been criticised over what is included and what is left out.
This is far from over. These are the words of Cristiano Ronaldo after Portugal were held to a 1-1 draw by DR Congo in their opening Group K game at the World Cup 2026.
Khan Yunis, Gaza Strip, 15-year-old Rafael Kudra had one hope in life: to get out of the Gaza Strip in time to save her sight. On Saturday, before Israel gave her that permission, everything turned pitch black. Sitting in an open-sided shelter covered in thick nylon in the Al-Mawasi coastal area in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis governorate, Rafa continuously pressed her hands over her eyes, either to block the light she can no longer see but still burns her eyes or to hide her falling tears.
Punjab Food Authority, PFA, sealed 8 food points and production units and imposed fines of £1.12 million on 75 businesses during a district-wide enforcement drive, officials said on Thursday. According to a PFA spokesperson, the operation was carried out on the directives of Director General Syed Musa Raza.
Faisalabad Electric Supply Company, FESCO, has issued a power shutdown schedule in connection with the necessary repair, maintenance and expansion of electric lines on June 19. According to a schedule issued here on Thursday, power supply from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. will remain suspended from FIDMC 2, Nishat Sweets, Vizhayat Canteramics No 2, Daily JW2, Sargodha Cloth, Nishat Hyundai, Afridi Textile, Tapal Textile, Maheen Textile, National Foods, Sadakat Corporation, Orient Material No 2, Scarp Eye, Coca-Cola, Cast Paint, Ghani Ceramics, Feeders.
Petroleum Minister Ali Pervez Malik said on Thursday that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed authorities to immediately pass on the benefit of declining international oil prices to consumers. In a post on social media on Thursday, the minister said, "International oil prices are far as national oil prices are falling, and the Prime Minister has directed that this benefit be passed on to the public immediately."
Pre-sales of Grand Theft Auto 6, the feverishly anticipated video game release, will begin on June 25. Rockstar Games said on Thursday, GTA 6, due to be released on November 19 after 2 delays, is the 8th main entry in the blockbuster franchise and is set to arrive more than 13 years after GTA 5, the second best-selling video game in history.